Hello everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all very well and ready for my educational video today on how to play a parabolic move up. So I'm going to be covering a lot of things in this video in great detail, so it's going to be a longer video, but you are going to get a lot of benefit from this. So I'm going to be covering initially, so there'll be a few stages. Initially, how to spot after a big down move, how you can identify a bottom to be buying in to play a correction. Obviously, with the moves I'm going to be covering of Ontology, VeChain and ICX, which saw 150% gains, that is not normal, just to let you know, but where you could be playing for a bottom correction for some nice profits. Secondly, we're going to be looking at areas where we could be taking profits on the way up. Thirdly, I'm going to be covering how to identify when the top is in and how you can identify the top of a parabolic move to be selling. And fourth, I'm going to go over how to play. So if the first wave up on this parabolic move is the first impulse Elliott wave, how to play wave number 2 and wave number 3 of Elliott waves using Elliott wave and Fibonacci retracement tool. So this is going to be a very informative video. So I apologize if it's going to be a bit long, but I'm going to try and cover everything for you here. So let's go straight into it. I hope you enjoy. Any questions, just leave me a comment or a direct message if that's how you prefer. So we're going to be looking at these charts as if we cannot see any of the movement upwards. Okay, so we're imagining we're in the trade, and how are we first going to identify that we are coming to a move upwards and the downwards trend is over? Firstly, I would say after obviously here we have had a very big move down in literally 2 days. So in 2 days we had a move down of 34%. So that is an absolutely massive capitulation, a 34% downwards movement in just 2 days. After such a big movement down, that is when you could expect a correction, because obviously nothing in all trading, I personally have been trading stocks a long time and crypto now for a while, about a year or so, and yeah, trust me, nothing ever just goes straight down or straight up. You have the obviously nice way to describe it is Elliott waves, where you're going to go up down up down up down. So first thing to note is a 35% downwards movement is a very big movement where you would expect a correction. Secondly, how are we going to identify that this is the bottom? So this is what I would personally recommend. So the downwards movements come here. The first thing you're going to want to see is here, this candlestick right here, this one right here is a hammer. So this is called a hammer candle, where we have this very big body, the very big wick downwards. So this straight line here is the wick. The wick is a very long downwards wick where the buying pressure has come up and we've got to close up the top of the candlestick. So first thing I'd be noticing is here we have the hammer candlestick, which is a bullish reversal candlestick. So you get the movements down, you see this hammer, and that is the first sign you see potentially we're seeing at the end of the move down here after a nice hammer like that. Secondly, how can we help to see a reversal? So we obviously have our hammer here. Obviously here the price has moved down 35%, but the RSI, this yellow line, the RSI has stayed very similar. So after the price has moved down 35%, you would obviously normally expect the RSI to be going down as well. But as we see, the RSI stayed very similar, which is another sign. The third sign I'd be seeing is this Stoch RSI, the two lines. We are getting a bullish crossover on the Stoch RSI. And one of the biggest helpful indicators here is the MACD histogram. As you see, the histogram is ticking upwards, showing that the move has possibly come to an end. And here we actually tick up positive on the MACD histogram for the first time in a long time. So you can see here we've been downwards ticking, all negatively, and here we actually tick up positively twice for the first 2 times. So I mean, a buy in any of this area is good going off indicators. High likelihood that we're going to be moving up with all these indicators put together. So that's how you would identify the bottom. If you see here on the zoom in on the MACD, positively upticking, and obviously here you have the bullish cross of the MACD indicator, a nice bullish cross here as well. So with that said, let's go back into our chart And how are we going to play this move upwards? So looking here on the 4-hour chart, and this is when we start going parabolic, and obviously just so you can see, the whole move up is 155%. So you're over ×2, you're doubling your money and more in just the space of 2 days. It's crazy profits. This is why I love crypto, because you'd never see this in a stock market or forex trading. I mean, this move is crazy. I love crypto. so where are we going to be eyeing profits on the way up? The first tool that I would use for taking profits is resistance levels. This would be horizontal resistance levels and also Fibonacci retracement levels. So just to be safe here, we're going to take our fib level from right up the top here to right to the bottom. And I always say on fib levels, the level you want to be looking for is 168. 168, 0.618. 0.618, or if you look at it as percentage, it's 61%. If you just double click on the fib tool, you can actually change the percentages on or off. I like having percentage personally. So that's the golden level, where like the majority of the time the price will increase if you're using the retracement from a downtrend or uptrend. 61% is always a level you want to be looking at, so keep your eye on that. But obviously you would want to be taking profits at each level just in case you don't get to your target. That combined with horizontal resistances. So from this move upwards, we've identified that the potential bottom could be in here, and now we're starting to move up. So you always want to be locking in profits, especially as in Bitcoin is currently in a bear market. So any profits you can get, that's great. You want to be locking in your profits. The worst thing you can do is see yourself in like 50% profits and then wake up the next day and see you're only in 10% profits, or if the worst case you're actually losing money, and that's the worst thing you can be. So you always have to be locking in profits, especially as a full-time trader. If you're not locking in profits, then you're not going to be making money. It's as simple as that, really. So we are getting our move up here. I would be recommending to take profits on the resistance level. Obviously here we had a horizontal resistance quite well with the Fibonacci retracement, and as you can see, there was a bit of sideways movement here where people are locking in profits. So I mean, on 100, say you are entered into 100% position here, maybe here you'd be at your first fib level, you could be taking 10% profits. So you want to be locking in profits. I mean, you can re-enter those positions on the way up here, but at least you are locking in profits. So I'd be locking in my first profit at the horizontal resistance level here, which combines with this fib level. And obviously we shot straight through this resistance here. We shot straight through it, so there would be no need to worry about taking your profits at this level, as we have shot straight through it. Shot straight through the 38 fib level, which is very nice. As you can see, we've gone upwards, we've shot straight through to 50%, and this is the main one for me. This is the main one of how you could kind of tell that the move up is finished, and you should be locking in the majority of your profits. You should be locking in like 80% profits here, because it's very unlikely you could be getting any higher. So you want to be taking big profits always. I mean, like 80-90% of your profits on the 61 fib level. This fib level right here is the golden ratio, and as we know, it's likely that it's going to get to here and reverse. And the second way I would also have known that this was going to be reversing is because if we look in here on the 1 hour chart, we go right the way back to our starting position, and we take a note here. Where did I get this resistance from? Here, when the coin was first released, we had here our support, and if you see here, the support was touched once, twice, 3 times. So this support right here of 255 sats was touched 3 times before the move upwards. So we had the 3 touches, and that was the last support used for a 30% move upwards. So this is a critical support that obviously started the move upwards. So with that in mind, we are going to be looking at 255 for a heavy resistance, because this support, if broken, turns into resistance. This is across all markets. Support turns into resistance. Okay, and now we look at our parabolic move up, and would you look at this, like crazy, our support turned into resistance. So if you were locking in all your profits on just the simple knowledge of support turning resistance at our previous 30% move upwards, if you look here, you'd have been taking profits at 255. The whole move got up to 257. Okay, just look at that. You would have got up, you would have been selling at the top. You are selling there right at the top of the move up. So that is a key way. One, looking at the fib level. Two, just noting that was the heavy resistance which previously acted as support for the move up. So that is the one way you can be looking at a reversal. Second way, you'd obviously want to be, let's take ontology here for an example, looking in. Oh, I'm going to have to go back a little bit here. So how else could you be looking at the move has come to a top? So I would say we're zooming in here. This one, other ways, obviously we know we've got our Fibonacci retracement tool, we've got our horizontal supports. How else could you identify that the move is coming to an end? I would say here on ontology for example, we could notice that our move is coming to an end because we are starting to here. We've got our bearish cross, we've got our histogram down ticking, we have got the RSI here starting to make its first lower high. So here we've got the RSI, we're making a lower high. So the price here has moved upwards. This is the main one for me. So this is your main signal here on ontology. You've got the price moving upwards and the RSI moving downwards, and that is a bearish divergence. Okay, and this is really critical because this is going to be your main way on lower time frames to identifying a top, where you get to, after a big move up, you get one last push up where the price is being pushed up and we're making a higher high on the price, but the RSI is falling downwards. Obviously you've got the RSI here, the price is making a higher high, here the price is making a lower high on the RSI. So the price, higher high, RSI, lower high. That is your biggest sign that the reversal is coming. Also here you've got the Stoch RSI making a bearish cross. So from all three ways you have identified the top. Biggest one being the price going up, the RSI going down. Second way is the Stoch RSI. Third way is the down ticking on the histogram. Fourth way is the bearish cross on the MACD. MACD being a lagging indicator, but also a safe bet. But using all four of these indicators together, as you can see, that is a perfect way to identify the top. So those are honestly some very good ways. I've made a lot of money just from identifying the tops like this, and then if it's a coin or a market where there's shorting available, I would be shorting the top there, expecting to move downwards. Obviously in crypto you can only be shorting major altcoins or Bitcoin, so you don't have that option, but you would be knowing here, for example, on ontology, to be selling. This is a big sell signal. So with that said, let's go on to identifying after our move up. So we have gone through so far identifying the bottom, where we went through identifying the bottom. Here we had our big move down, we used our indicators, we have identified how to be taking profits, which are obviously on the fib levels on the way up, combined with support and horizontal resistances, and we have gone through how to identify a top, obviously using our MACD, RSI, and divergences. The main one is obviously the RSI divergences. So this is the main one of identifying a top. And from that, I want to be going into Elliott wave now. So obviously, we cannot imagine this. So we are imagining this, and all we can see is our wave one upwards. And now we've identified our top, and we're confident we've seen a top. And now we're going to be looking in to buy on wave two. We're ready to play a wave three up. Okay, so these are the one wave up, wave one is up, wave two is down, wave three is up, and then you've obviously got 4 and 5. I'm going to go over here, wave 1, 2, 3. So we've identified our top and we've sold, and now we're waiting for an entry on the way back down to make money on wave 3. That's what we're going to go through now. So to identify where the wave is, we would just need to be looking at our candles. We would want to, let's go through on ICX here. So we have a little bit of difference. So we've gone through VeChain, ontology, now ICX. So we have identified wave 1, movewards up. We've sold at the top here. and now we're looking to buy back in to make another profit on the next wave. So we would be taking to look for our entry, we would be looking to take from the first where we can identify a bottom up to the top. So we would take let me just show you where this is. I've got this on my favorites toolbar, but you would go into this on trading view, your sidebar here. If you put a little star on it, it will become on your favorites bar. We want to go into the Fibonacci retracement, and we're taking the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom here right to the top. Okay, right to the top of the structure. Obviously this is why some people have different levels, because you could potentially take it from here, and you could then be playing this 1, 2, and then wave 3. And this is why technical analysis is different from each person. But would be playing it as from the bottom here, and then be classing this as wave 1 rather than a 1, 2, 3. So you have to keep in mind that each person is going to be looking at different levels. But for this video, we're just going to be taking this our fib level. So I'll draw this out one more time to understand. Take your Fibonacci retracement tool, you put it at the bottom of the structure, and you'd put it up to the top, and you would be imagining this as wave 1 on Elliott wave. And now we're looking for a place to buy in for wave 2, where we would then be buying in at wave 2, ready to play a wave 3 and sell a wave 3. So we would obviously take our Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top. Areas you can buy in are as follows. It is very simple as just buying the Fibonacci retracement, each Fibonacci retracement level. So obviously we hit our first level of 0.23, and we did get a bounce. So obviously people have got their buys placed here. We hit it, we have bounced up, and it hasn't held. Obviously, as I've said before, the 61 is the main fib you're going to be looking for an actual reversal. But on the way down there, you're always going to get bounces off of each level. But the biggest one you would want to be looking for is 61, possibly 78. Is always where my main targets would be. But if you see here, we hit it, we hit our first fib level, and we've bounced up, hasn't held, and we've come smashing back down through it. Then we've been met by the 38, where we actually went through it, but it's bounced back up. So again, if you had bought here and just you would have made a little bit of money on a quick scalp. You'd be playing for literally like a 1% scalp. On your next level down, you'd be playing for the same, just a quick scalp. Movement up, you could be selling. The next one, we've obviously hit our 50%. There has been a little bit of a bounce attempt, but nothing. And our main one we're looking at here, obviously, as I said previously, you want to be looking at fib levels combined with horizontal supports if you can. That would be a very nice entry. And as you see here, where it has acted as resistance, sorry about that. So I wanted to remove this. We have here our resistance level, where the price has been hit by this point and we've moved back down. So you can draw a resistance, because here we have moved back down. Here it actually acted as a little bit of resistance, making it valid as well. And then here it acted as support before we actually moved up again. So here you could have had a nice support line drew. And what just makes it really nice is this support line held strongly with the 61% fib retracement, making it a very strong support. So I would be playing my Elliott waves as wave 1 up, and I would be playing wave 2 and having heavy buys around this fib level. And obviously, if you did buy in, you would be taking then profits on each fib level upwards. And you would obviously, in hindsight, it hasn't worked as well as we would have hoped, but you would be hoping for a wave 1, 2, and a wave 3 obviously breaking up here. But because of the way Bitcoin's in a bear market, it hasn't worked out, which is why a main thing, when you're buying in here, you still want to be taking your profits. Although you're aiming for a wave 3 to move up, or obviously here, and you'll then be very happy, but you're seeing this more in a very big bullish market. Currently we're in a bear market. You want to be so you'd have your buys placed here, very happy you got in at the bottom, and from here you want to be taking profits at each fib level upwards. So you'd be taking profits at 50%, you'd be taking profits at 38, and you'd be taking profits, as you see it here, You'll be taking profits here at the 23% level, and unfortunately we didn't move up any higher than this, and we hit a heavy resistance. This is all timed though, because of Bitcoin obviously moving downwards, and there was no space for altcoins to run up because Ethereum hit resistance and moved down, Bitcoin hit resistance and moved down, and that caused this move down actually on the altcoins. So that's just something to note, and it's a very big important reason why you should be taking profits. And I think that is about it. There from here, you'd be playing your wave 1, 2. This is a third impulse wave failed, so currently you would just have to review that. But the main things I wanted to go through in this video, which I believe I've covered, is identifying the bottom, identifying the top, which is a really big tactic. You want to be training yourself to do this, identifying the top and taking big profits, and then identifying places to buy in for wave 2 retracement, and then hopefully be playing a wave 3 up. So that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me just go through why I've got these lines drew and how well these have worked as well. So obviously this is I can do a whole new lesson on this, but I just want to cover this very, very quickly for you. So this is a horizontal trend line where you take it from the top, and you can see it has touches and touches with a little bit of a breakout here which fell back down, and for your bottom support, touch, and this is a bullish pennant where you would be hoping for a breakout, and for a breakout target you could be like taking your breakout targets. I think I'm going to cover this in another lesson, because this is a very big part, actually, all pennants and chart patterns. This requires a new lesson. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have started this, but as you can see, this trend line actually has been extended here, and how well it actually acted as resistance still after breaking downwards, acting as resistance. And now this, where we were looking at as support, is now acting as resistance again. If you're interested in a lesson on this, because this is a very good trading strategy as well, just let me know and I'll be happy to help. Sorry for the long video. I've just had so much information packed that I know from my own trading knowledge, and I've been trading a long time, and I'm a successful trader. I have to just say it. I'm making nice profits on this, and I'm very, very happy to be helping people. And I love reading the comments of people saying they got in on my moves, and you know, it just makes me very happy to know people are learning from my help. Honestly, it's very, very, very nice feeling for me. So with that said, any questions at all, let me know. I am going to help you guys, and yeah, take care, safe trading, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.